There is a concept at the intersection of philosophy and science that attracts people's attention, which is called the monkey theory. This theory assumes that if a monkey taps the keyboard randomly on the typewriter, after an infinite amount of time, it will be able to type the Hamlet of Shakespeare. This idea not only aroused random thinking, but also raised questions about the nature of time and the universe. All matter in the universe is composed of basic particles, and these particles are operating irregularly at all times. So, if there is enough time, is it possible for all the particles in the universe to return to the state of a certain moment in the past? If so, does this mean that our universe is in a constant cycle? To discuss this issue, we first need to understand a concept called the most desperate physical theory, the concept of extreme injury. In 1865, German physicist Clausius first proposed the concept of injury. In fact, injury is the degree of confusion in a system. He described the system's state of needlessness. According to the concept of injury, in a closed system of needlessness, heat always flows from high temperature to low temperature, and the state of need will gradually turn into a state of needlessness. This process is irreversible. That is to say, the confusion of the system will continue to increase. This is the second law of thermodynamics, also known as the increase in injury law. This is also why we see that a cup of hot water will gradually cool down after being left for a long time, and the house that has not been repaired for many years will become dilapidated, and even a clean room will gradually become messy if no one takes care of it. Behind all these phenomena, it is because the injury is constantly increasing. This law is not only applicable to the physical system, but also to the life system and the entire universe, because it reveals the final fate of the evolution of the universe. Since the birth of the universe 13.8 billion years ago, the end of destruction has long been destined. As time goes by, everything in the universe follows the law of increase in injury. As time goes by, the stars play their roles on the universe stage. Our sun is no exception. With the constant consumption of light elements inside, the life of the sun is gradually coming to an end. About 5 billion years later, the core of the sun will no longer be able to maintain the light pole, and it will begin to collapse. The huge energy that follows will force its outer layer to expand and become a huge red star. At that time, the radius of the sun will exceed the orbit of the Earth, devouring our home that has never been able to survive. The Earth will turn into dust in the blaze and disappear from the universe forever. However, this is only a stage of the cycle of life of the sun. About 100 billion years later, the sun will gradually turn into a white dwarf star, a weak but strong crystal. It will gradually cool down at an extremely slow speed and eventually become a black dwarf star, completely without life. The fate of the sun is not isolated. It is just a shadow of countless stars. All stars, regardless of their size, inevitably go to extinction. About 15 billion years after life, the last star will also burn out. The universe will fall into an endless darkness. Only the wreckage of the star floats in the empty void, and no new light source can be born. At this time, there will only be black holes left on the stage of the universe. They become the main force. The merger between black holes will become the only active activity in the universe. But even the black hole can't escape the fate of extinction. In the time period of tens of billions of years, the black hole will gradually disappear due to golden radiation. According to the uncertainty principle of quantum mechanics, there will occasionally be pairs of particles and antiparticles in the vacuum. These particles are usually extinguished in a very short time. But if they are generated near the black hole, one of the particles may be attracted by the black hole, and the other will escape and be released in the form of radiation. This process gradually reduces the quality of the black hole until it eventually completely evaporates. When the last black hole disappears, there is only a lonely light in the universe and a dark space that is constantly expanding. As the dark energy pushes the universe to continue to expand, these lights will gradually cool down to absolute zero. By then, the expansion of the universe will also stop, because everything has reached a perfect state of nothingness, and there will be no more changes or events. Endless silence and death will engulf the entire universe. This is the so-called hot season, the final destination of the universe, a dark place with no light, no heat, and silence. Although the hot season of the universe is an unimaginable and long process, the endless darkness and death brought by this ending is still unacceptable. In order to find a way to fight this fateful hope, many scientists have done everything they can to try to find the loophole of the increase in the law of motion, hoping to reverse the process of the hot season. However, after countless attempts, these efforts all failed, until the appearance of French mathematician Henri Poincaré, which brought a new light to this problem. Poincaré proposed a theory with a profound impact. In a closed and limited system, as long as the time is long enough, the physical state in the system will be infinitely close to its initial state. This phenomenon is called Poincaré's return. For example, suppose you seal a poker card and shuffle it randomly. As long as you shuffle enough times, there will always be a time when the order of this poker card will be completely restored to the state of just being sealed. This phenomenon is not only simple to understand, but also provides a new perspective for understanding the evolution of the universe. According to this principle, any isolated finite system will gradually return to its initial state. If we regard the entire universe as a closed system, then all the changes in the universe are actually driven by the random movement of countless particles and atoms. By mathematical calculation, scientists can deduce the probability that these atoms will return to the state of a certain moment in the past, as well as the time required for this return. However, the length of this time is far beyond human cognition, and it is almost endless. For us, such a time delay has long lost the meaning of reality, and it is unimaginable. But from the perspective of the universe, this time may not be meaningless. The greatest discrimination brought by Poincaré's return is that the end of the universe may not be a constant heat. On the contrary, after a long time, this universe may return to a certain initial state and enter a new cycle of discussion. This view challenges our traditional understanding of time and change, and opens people's eyes to think about the new perspective of the universe's fate. More importantly, Poincaré's return is not a simple guess. In 2018, researchers at the University of Vienna experimentally confirmed the phenomenon of Poincaré's return in the quantum system. This discovery provides solid support for Poincaré's theory and further enhances our understanding of the possibility of the universe's cycle. If the universe is really repeating in a constant cycle, this means that everything we are experiencing now may have happened in the distant past. Is the universe really circulating? No one can give the correct answer. Death may be the end, or it may be a new beginning. Even if the particles are reincarnated, they cannot completely return to their original appearance. Every time Poincaré returns, there will be a slight difference, leading to a completely different universe. What do you think the end of the universe is? Welcome to the discussion. Thank you for watching. I am exploring the universe. See you next time.